There's Delight for Life. Sorry we're a little bit late tonight. I had my birthday and there was a lot going on today, and I welcome you. And as we get started, about tonight, we're going to talk about how do we live in the moment. As far as I'm concerned, living in the moment is one of the most precious gifts we have. And I have a very special thing for you tonight about living in the moment. As a lot of you know, we've released out a book, if you haven't noticed on the page, about the secrets of a hoarder turned to clutter. I just thought I'd let you know. It's going to be out next week, and it's going to be great. And for those who need it, we would hope that you get it, because for a lot of us out there who've dealt with this issue, or even family members or anybody else who has clutter problems, this will be great for you to have. And it's only going to be $9.97, and we're going to have some other great stuff with it. And we're real excited, and we have also some other stuff in the works, a mastermind group that's going to be available. Actually, I'm thinking about having an in-person mastermind group of Declares Delight for Life. So if you're interested, email me or messenger me, and we can talk about it. So this will be a live event. So think about it. And to me, it's really special that to reach out to you guys each and every night means a lot to me. I find that for me, life is too short. Having lived 44 years past my expiration date made me really realize today what I was capable of doing. If you're wondering what I was capable of doing, I was actually capable of cleaning my whole house, which I hadn't done in years, because I always had to rely on somebody else because of my physical disabilities. But I'm realizing as I get stronger, working with a personal trainer, and also, pushing my limits more and more, that I'm able to do more. And as a result, it made me realize that I was able to live in the moment and how precious it was. And have to admit, I was very proud after I saw my house clean. And my housekeeper that was supposed to show up this morning at 10 o'clock kept giving me excuses. So you know what? I finally decided in my own mind that, I can live in the moment and do that. And if anybody you haven't seen this, just live in the moment, as far as that's concerned. And I just want you guys to realize that even as simple things as realizing that you can clean your own home after having to rely on other folks to do it, it can be rather special. Or doing or challenging something. Yesterday I was able to take a trip to the mountain, and I was able to challenge myself there and live in the moment and really enjoy my day, and it was really special. And there are some things about living in the moment that I would like to, one of the things I've done recently about living in the moment is I've gotten rid of more stuff. I actually got rid of more stuff today, and I actually made my house look even better. They talk about a minimalist look, but it's not minimalist, but it's about, I don't need as much stuff, and not having to need as much stuff, really helps and make you feel things. And another great thing about living in the moment is smile. I know this is my smile. I smile when I meditate, and I also smile. And smiling is a big thing about living in the moment, because just the act of smiling makes you feel better, makes you feel more whole. Just excuse me while I get a drink of something. And, when I realized about just the simple act of smiling, or when you go to smile to somebody else, that's huge, when you think about all that, and then you fully appreciate the moments of today. That's a biggie. When you really appreciate about living in the moments of the day, like I was talking earlier about appreciating a clean home, education I was doing, and getting things done. I may not have a lot right now, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything, because there is things coming out for you guys, and we're excited about it, my team and you guys, because I put my best foot forward out there. And another thing is, you got to forgive hurts, because hurts really prevent you from living in the moment. Because I forgave my mom, who was the one who wanted me dead at 11 years old. And I had to really realize that, you know what, I don't want to hold any grudges. I don't want to hold any resentments or anything else like that. And as a result, I'm able to let that go, which is another big thing. And also love your job. I know for a lot of folks out there, they don't necessarily love your job, but find something about it you love, or anything you're doing. Find something about you love, and it really helps produce a much better moment as far as that's concerned. And dream of a future that you can work for today. And yeah, I know I'm looking at my notes, so yeah, I keep notes in a journal, and that kind of runs the whole company, if I've already said before. But the thing is that when you are able to realize that, and then when you can dream that will work for today, that also adds in a happiness factor. If you haven't thought about it, but all these things we're talking about are talking about helping us have a better happiness factor, and that's a really big huge. And don't dwell on past accomplishments. A lot of folks sit on their duffs, and they talk about what they've done in the past, what they've been able to accomplish, what they've been able to do. I don't know, for me that's kind of like going like this, trying to bolster yourself up, and that doesn't necessarily mean, to me, actions speak louder than words, and actions mean that you are living in the moment and you will be able to do things and such. And don't dwell, and don't stop worrying. How many of us worry ourselves to death? I'm a great worrier, because worry and anxiety go hand in hand, and I've dealt with that for a long time. And what I've come to realize is I don't have to worry. I don't have to. My needs are taken care of. God will make sure my needs are being met. I can give everything over to Him, and He'll handle things for me, because worrying about anything only makes the problem seem bigger. Sometimes we make mountains out of molehills, and that's sometimes a difficult thing to have to say, is that when we make mountains out of molehills and worry ourselves, I think of, when I used to worry about, the house and the car and the finances and everything else, but you know what? The only worry it does is make me feel sick and stressed and everything else, and that doesn't do me any good. And having dreams and hopes and goals, and putting those out there, are much better than worrying to death. And then think about beyond old problems to solutions. If you can do any of these, this will help you live in the moment. And to me, that's a biggie. I know, and if I was to talk about my own story today, I'll come a little closer. This is a little, there we go. That, if we live in the moment, then, life can be a lot easier, and you do have a future because you have lived in the moment. And having me be able to live in the moment allows me that. Another thing that goes into our living in the moment is addictions. Like I have an addiction with food, and I'm hoarding, and I was a compulsive spender. I had my own addictions, and they really bowed into my moments. And I didn't have a lot of happy moments, but you know what? I'm a lot happier. I'm just happy with the simple things in life anymore, because you know what? That's where the true happiness lies, is when with great relationships and people, and just realizing that when you have all that you have a whole lot more in life, and the richness of people is such a great gift, especially with social distancing right now. It seems like when I was up at the mountains, people, there were some people, I call it, COVID phobic. Please don't take that wrong, but that as human beings, we are social beings, and then with the social distancing, it seems to fly in the very face of what we're about and what we're trying to do and connect. And I guess I try to connect with you every day from my heart, because when I have my heart out there, I can live in the moment, and my heart to you yours means a lot to me, because when I find myself worrying, or about the housekeeper not coming and letting her know that I need somebody more reliable and such like that, she got a little angry. And the thing is, she tried to complain about her problems. But one thing I have also learned is complaining about my problems doesn't get me anywhere in life, except worrying and realizing, complaining is not going to help me. It's only going to bring my energy down. And you know what? My energy is not down. I got more to do tonight, but I feel up to it, and I feel up to the challenge, and I'm going to do it. And you know what? That's great. I love it, because I feel like my body is healing, and that God has given me healing. And and I think too, what I'm telling my mind, telling my body, saying I can and you can do, really allows you to live in the moment and to appreciate, all the times that we don't necessarily appreciate. If we think before all this COVID and being, home and isolated and everything else, there was a lot of things we took for granted, even toilet paper. And we forgot to live in the moment. We were so worried about what was happening and everything else like that. And I still have a friend who worries a lot about the COVID virus, and she's older and such, but I still get out and to the best of my ability and do things, because I realize that life is way too short to sit there and worry about what could or couldn't be. I can take the necessary precautions, but the thing is, I want to smile and I want to live in the moment, and for me that is huge. And being able to live in the moment allows me to have a life, whether my life be here at the home for a little while, or whether it be, I'm looking forward to my workout tomorrow and seeing the people there, and I'm looking forward to seeing some other folks. And the one thing is that we don't have to worry, or we don't have to sit there and twiddle our thumbs, wonder what's going to happen next, or live in the past. Living in the past, there's a lot I could live in the past with, but you know what, that doesn't, that's that was thrown into the ever forgotten gorge as far as I'm concerned. And my present and what I'm marching towards my future is so much brighter and so much better to look at that than to worry about whether or not this or that was the thing. Because I think by challenging ourselves and realizing that you can do something instead of I can't, and say I can, I am, and I must. That's just a little piece of there to help you along, because if you put I can, I am, or I must with it on anything you're going to do, it really is a motivating factor to get things done. And saying a prayer to God doesn't hurt either, because it makes for a great communication. I love to have communication with him. I talk to him just like I do another human being, and for me that means a lot. We all sit here, and I'm here outside and in my beautiful home, my backyard, and I'm really enjoying this, because I'm coming to you, and I'm hoping that that you can have a moment. And for me, and down there is my little doggie. She means a lot to me, and hugging her and being in the moment with her. Or if you've got pets, or if there's something you enjoy doing, think about the joy you receive from something when you live in the moment. The joy of seeing a child's eyes laugh, or a doggy turn their head this way and say, hey, I'm cute, or any number of these things. Those moments that we don't have to worry about forgetting, really make a huge difference on our moments. And to smile and to fully appreciate the moments, and to forgive others, and love your job or whatever you do, and to realize that by dream for the future, but work for today, and don't dwell on past accomplishments, and think beyond old solutions to the problem. and conquer your addictions. That was a mouthful I just said there, but if you can look at all those factors and do things like that, you can do a lot of glorious things out there in the world, because our world is still there. You know, doesn't I know there's travel restrictions and there's things in other countries and such, but in the end all, the be all, it doesn't really matter. What matters to me is that I get to come to you each night and I do my best. And with that, I wish you a great Declare's Delight for Life. Get my book when it comes out, The Secrets of a Hoarder Turned Declutter. And with that, I wish you a great night. God's blessings to you all. Have a great one. Have peace, tranquility, and hope and love, and live in the moment.